All right.
Live? Good.
Cool. Are we live?
Yep.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to this week's virtual write-in.
It's the second week of Camp NaNoWriMo.
Second week.
It's very exciting, I guess. How are all you guys doing?
Exciting or terrifying?
Oh yeah, a little bit of
column
A, column B. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys don't know me, I'm Katharine. I'm the communications manager here at NaNoWriMo.
And I'm Nick. I'm the editorial intern at NaNoWriMo. Kristen is still out this week.
Yeah.
But she'll be back next week.
Yeah, Kristen will be back next week.
Yeah.
So for now, I guess I'm Kristen. Last week I was both of you guys.
Yeah, I had jury duty, but you can't miss that. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Somebody just said, "Can someone hold my kitten? He wants to be a fluffy keyboard cover today." I will.
I'm allergic to cats, so
I am also allergic to cats, but you know they're also
worth it. We also have Blobby, which is
Blobby.
Did we ever confirm what kind of creature Blobby is?
I think we decided on some kind of dinosaur.
It looks like a crocodile that has.
Oh, like I don't know.
Maybe
he's got a tail.
No.
I feel like crocodiles have like spikes on the back, right? I feel
maybe
like
at one point he did.
It's a very fat T-Rex, perhaps.
All right. So, if this is your first time at a virtual write-in, gonna give you a little rundown. Virtual write-ins are kind of a great way to hang out with the Nano community, hang out with us because we're super cool, and kind of get a little bit of inspiration, you know, kind of a chance to challenge yourself, you know, in a public setting.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, like hold yourself accountable to other people.
That too. That's really important.
That's really helpful.
So today's theme, since it's the second week of camp, is how do you keep writing? So it's like kind of overcoming writer's block. You know, getting that word count or that time count or whatever you're doing. In my case, it's minutes, and getting things written down, especially if you've been struggling with that, which I know I have. I have fallen like 2 days behind,
too.
At least.
Better than me. I'm like 10 days behind.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah. Sorry.
I'm just reading the chat here. Somebody said I thought Blobby was a dragon.
He might be.
He might be, but he doesn't.
Blobby is whatever you want him to be.
Blobby does not conform to a species.
That's right. Yeah, let's hear. How's everybody doing on their writing goals? I mean, are you doing word count goals? Are you doing time goals, pages, whatever it is you're doing? Let's hear about it.
Let's see. Logan Edwards says they need 1,500 words to catch up. You can totally do it.
I was gonna say, let's challenge you to get that written in this write-in. Love to see that. Looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters a little bit.
Uneducated Bat has 6 chapters left to write and is miles ahead.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Congrats.
You're doing a lot better than me.
Ren Blomley is almost to 75K.
Wow.
What?
Rain S is a bit ahead, but has no idea what they're writing right now. This part is not outlined, and I hate writing without an outline. I'm so with you.
Oh, yeah.
My project that I'm doing right now, I did a little backwards in that the start of it was not outlined. It's stuff that I hadn't written before, and now I'm starting to get to the stuff that I know really well, and it feels a lot better to write. So I can definitely relate.
Nice.
Nice. Word count goals. Need another 1,200 to catch up. You can probably do it in this write-in.
Somebody else is doing time goals, 25 hours.
Yeah, and don't forget, obviously, whatever your goal is, you know, the idea is, get into a habit of writing and kind of get words on the page that didn't exist before. So even if you're a little behind, or even if your goal is to only write, 30 minutes a day, that's totally fine. Because
if you're editing.
Or if you're editing, yeah, a lot of people edit too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do we want to do our first sprint?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
Speaking of getting down and writing.
Yeah, it's about that time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a 5-minute word sprint.
Kind of get the juices flowing.
Yeah, get the juices flowing. Off my timer. And so the first prompt is gonna be write from the word obstacle. That could mean start a scene with that word, or just incorporate it in some way, or if you're not feeling that, just right? Whatever, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's always fun.
You never have to use the prompts that we give you, but they're there for you if you want to jump in.
Exactly. So I'm going to start the timer right now and let you know when you've got about half the time left, and then when it's...
So just somehow include the word obstacle.
Right. And begin. You got about 2.5 minutes left. Oh, and that's the time.
Nice.
All right, pencils down, students. Cool.
How did let us know in the comments how you did on that, how many words you got, maybe how you used the prompts. If you want to share a sentence, you can drop that in there too. Yeah, that'd be great.
I actually didn't get to incorporate the word obstacle, but the whole scene was themed around like overcoming an obstacle.
Oh, nice.
Which we'll get into more. Very good. I actually can't count how many words I did.
Yeah, handwriting.
I can't actually read my own handwriting.
That might be a problem.
It's okay. I'll get there eventually.
I'm not gonna lie. I started out just by I had no idea what I was gonna type, so I just started writing the word obstacle, obstacle, obstacle to just start writing something and get that down.
So what was the first word you did after obstacle?
Okay, but so like, and then I just like left all these notes for myself. It was very sort of stream of consciousness.
Cool. What are we saying? Oh, Biblio-Atlas said, read about the trial by Franz Kafka. Very nice.
All right.
Scene header name was obstacle, but not using typing from Amy Case. Very nice. Oh, Stefan. I can't pronounce that. Kunstler started my playlist with the song "Obstacles." Is that the oh God, who does that? Is that Sid Matters? It's a very good song. I like it a lot.
They also say "Good evening" from Germany and got 141 words.
Nice.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love hearing where everybody's from. By the way, if you want to drop that in the chat as well, where you actually are physically located as you're watching this right now.
In case you don't know, we're at NaNo HQ in currently overcast Berkeley,
California.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, lots of great word counts. Awesome. And even for just like 5 minutes for your first sprint, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, uneducated Baz from Glasgow. I love Glasgow.
Dark Deluxeful wrote 0 and said, "My computer's my obstacle."
Well,
feel that sometimes.
Honestly, this has actually really helped me. Handwriting aside, like just writing by hand makes me have to think about what I'm writing a lot more.
I also have my handwriting journal here. I usually also write by hand first drafts. I don't know. It helps me be less distracted.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm at too.
Definitely when I write on the computer, there'll be times I'm like, oh, I could just look this up. And when you're writing by hand, you can't. So you're like, oh, that's for later.
Totally the same. I have to turn off my internet so that I don't get distracted and do other things.
Oh man, we have people from Canada, Melbourne, Chile. Awesome. Milan.
What time is it in Melbourne right now? It's got to be like middle of the night,
Italy, right? Johannesburg, Prague.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
I wanna like come visit all of you.
Yeah. Nano World Tour.
That would be really cool. Sweet.
Great. Do you want to get going on the discussion?
Yeah. So I think when we were kind of talking about these writing prompts today, we were both feeling like there are a lot of obstacles that are coming up for writing. Yeah. Which sometimes it can be easier if you have this idea and you're going with it and sort of in the flow. So I really hope that some of you guys are there. But if you're not, we're curious, like what are the obstacles that you come up with or that you come up against when you're writing? Where
are you at in your writing, and like, are you encountering any major obstacles?
Yeah.
And then if so, how are they impeding your writing? Like what's making your writing difficult?
I guess, or like, how do they affect you?
Yeah.
Maybe I've been realizing, for me, a lot of the times when I think mostly what happens for me is I get these ideas that I get really excited about. And that's been part of the problem this camp is I've had like 3 different projects that I could work on. And I haven't been able to decide on one. And what my brain does is like gets really excited about the idea. And then when I go to write it on the paper, there's this little voice in my head that's like, it's never going to be as good as it is in your head. And usually what happens is then I'm like, oh, okay. And, I go like read a book or whatever and curl up under the covers for a while and don't do anything. But I've been finding this April that instead what I've been doing is what my brain does is like, oh, this isn't going to work. okay, let's try working on some other kind of creative project. So I started a painting the other day.
Really?
Yeah. Which I didn't need to do, and I should have been writing, but my brain was just like, nope, still want to be creative, but this is how we're going to procrastinate right now. So
I'm kind of in the same boat. I've had some trouble finding time to like really sit down and work on this stuff as opposed to other things. I think one of the nice things that I have found in this particular camp session is having multiple projects. Because I'm the kind of person who like has a hard time sticking on just one thing at a time. So like I work on this one for a while, I work on something else for a while, and then I'll go not write for like a day and just do other things and clear my head and then come back to it. And I think that has helped quite a bit, I think. But I guess the big question for big obstacles, and I'm reading what was saying here in the chat, is a lot of talk of like outlines, like not having an outline, which as a serial planner, I'm totally with you.
I'm definitely more of a pantser. So.
Logan Edwards says, I have no outline, and I so badly want to quit and do an outline, but I'm too far into camp and want to stay motivated in writing, but I had to lower my word count because I keep doubting myself.
Which is also totally valid. Like,
it's absolutely valid. Yeah.
If you guys don't know this, you can change your goal during camp. And you can change it lower or higher. So either way, if you're going through something and you're finding like, I have bitten off more than I can chew right now, it is totally acceptable to lower your goal. Or if you're going through and you're like, oh man, I'm blasting through this.
Yeah.
Like maybe I want to write more this month, then you can amp it up too.
I was also gonna say, like, on that note, it's never too late to start camp. We've gotten messages from a lot of participants who are like, oh, like I haven't started my novel yet. And it's already the 11th of April. Is it too late to sign up or to start? I don't think it's. There's not a cutoff date.
There's no cutoff date.
There's no cutoff date.
So you can sign up at any time. Yeah. Also keep in mind we have another session in July. So
yeah.
If this one doesn't go the way that you hoped, there's always another chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people I'm loving this chat here because so those things it's like, oh, I feel personally called out by a lot of these too.
Oh wow! How are we trying to publish your novel by the end of the school year? Because that's not stressful anything. Yeah, that's. I don't know what to say. That's awesome, and I can understand that's probably really stressful.
I'm just I'm finding things like there's so much in this chat that I'm really resonating with, like AKCL11, I'm not quite sure how to say that, but it says my writing obstacles are mostly lack of time and motivation. I'm also continuing from my November work and I have to reread bits to remember things, and that can be discouraging, which I definitely feel. I don't know, sometimes though I feel like I go back and reread things and it's better than I remembered it being, because in the depths of it I was like, oh, this is all terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. So sometimes that can be nice, but it can be hard if you like have it in your head a certain way, and then it actually turns out that you wrote it a different way and you don't remember. But,
yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah. And then I keep finding these really great quotes and then losing them because.
Also, Crystal Ramos, really hi to 2-year-old.
Do what?
Crystal Shelby mentioned that in the chat, but somebody said my little one, my 2-year-old said hi. I'm saying hi.
Cute.
Trying to have an outline. Yeah, my obstacle is trying to continue writing while editing because this camp. I'm working on my creative writing thesis, so I have a deadline. Yeah, I think one of the interesting patterns. My sock is inside out. One of the interesting patterns that we see during camp, especially, is people juggling their writing projects with other like real life projects.
Yeah.
Like November's a little different because just where it is in the year, but like especially if you're working on big end of the year school projects in like April, it's going to be difficult to balance. But
Lady Nadia says, my biggest obstacle is having my daily work being energy consuming. I may have ideas, but I feel very tired.
Yeah.
So she says, I try to watch some relaxing videos before sitting back and continue writing. And I think that's another thing that's popping up is also people like, oh, there are so many TV shows that I want to watch or books that I want to read. And how can I write? And I think it's... I
think it's important to take some time for that too.
Yeah, maybe
as long as you know,
in moderation.
In moderation, yeah.
You know, I think it's good. I sometimes use that as a reward for myself too. Like if there's a book that I really want to read, or honestly, sometimes getting out of bed, I'm like, oh, it's so warm and cozy in here.
Yeah.
You know, but having that like relaxation is something that you want. Being like, okay, I can do that after I do this thing that I'm supposed to do.
I think it's different for everyone, but like in general, the biggest, at least in my experience, the best thing you can do is just like designate time to write.
Yeah.
Because that's oftentimes like the hardest thing about writing is just like finding the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm actually curious what kind of obstacles your characters are facing as well. I feel like there can be a whole whole range,
yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes, you know, do your characters face similar obstacles to the ones that you face, or I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, I think on that note, do you want to do the sprint from that, or do you want to talk about that a little before we do?
We can talk about it a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Zara Wright says, my character's obstacle is a twist that causes his mind to change.
Ooh.
Interesting.
It's interesting, yeah.
E. Haynes says, a secret society that wants to take over the world. That was in all caps, though.
Too many character obstacles. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget, like, obstacles, they can be figurative or literal. So, like, your character could be going about their way, and all of a sudden, no, there's literally, you know, a mountain, and they can't get around it. Or, you know, it's a figurative block, like it's an internal struggle, like they're having trouble getting out of bed in the morning. You know, that's a very realistic problem. Yeah. So start thinking about that, because time for this.
Yeah, right? let's do it.
Because our next sprint, number 2, is going to be 10 minutes long, and it is going to be to create an unexpected obstacle for your characters. And this is going to relate to the third prompt, but we'll get to that in a minute. And don't forget, obviously, you can kind of do whatever type of writing you want. But yeah, the sprint we're going to follow is create an unexpected obstacle for your character.
And if your character is already facing an obstacle, you can drop another one on top of it and see what that does.
Just pile it on. Pile it on.
Yeah, just make it a hard time for your character for a little while.
You can have a really bad day. Because we'll get out of it eventually. Yeah. So yeah, 10 minutes, give you the half time and the full time. Ready? And begin. About 5 minutes. And that's the timer.
All right. Cool. Hands up, pencils down. You.
There we go. Sorry, I had one sentence left. I did start.
Yeah, let us know how that went for you in the chat. Tell us how many words you wrote, or
yeah, John Salyer in the chat. Just refresh the feed if you can.
Oh yeah, if you're having issues.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. If you're having issues watching the video, you won't see us saying this, but yeah, you know.
Great. How'd you do?
How many words did I get? It's such a novel thing for me to be able to actually count how many words
I got a decent amount done. I would say I got about a page written. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, well, I wrote 195 words, so
nice.
You know, not that much, but
338 words, very nice. 413 words.
Allison Clement got 558.
Wow. Nice.
Zarite says, and I'm proud of what I did. That's awesome.
Very nice.
I'm really glad.
Yeah,
I love it. Awesome. I love it when that happens out of a word sprint. Kim Engelman said they got 212 words and the prompts fit in amazingly well with where I am right now.
Very good. It fits in well with us too.
Who parenthetically hit tomorrow's word count. Congrats.
Oh, nice. Nicole Wolf says, another 100 words. Gosh, I'm slow. But in revisions, I'm in revisions, so it's about quality, not quantity now. It's totally true. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, Uneducated Bat, 619 words. Best hit their personal record.
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, we hope that this was helpful for you. This prompt, not the thing yet.
Any of it, really.
Any of it. Yeah. Because I think it was really helpful for me because this scene that I'm writing, I continued from the first prompt. Was like a physical obstacle for this character. She's climbing up a ladder, like a really really high up ladder on a bridge.
Nice.
And you gotta go open this door like from above. So she's trying to push it up, but it's like hot because there's some like machine behind it. So it's like burning the latch. So she's got to get a glove and like put it on. Just interesting, like kind of dynamic going on. So I'm happy about that. Where that's going, I think should be good.
I think part of the obstacle I was having in continuing this particular project that I'm working on today was when I stopped writing it or stopped working on it at the end of November. I left it at this cliffhanger of like, all right, this thing has happened and now we need to go see blank. I had no idea who blank was, so this person.
So you've had a few months to think about who blank.
So now I've had a few months to think about it. Actually, the last write-in, I spent a lot of it just like note taking and thinking through who this person could be. And this is kind of like a supernatural. This project is kind of like supernatural romance, sort of. So there's a lot of like fairy court stuff involved. So the person that they're going to see is Morgana. So,
cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Katie in the chat. He was going the quote from the writing, I guess. He was going to dodge the question once again, possibly by shoving his dwindling supply of cheese doodles into his mouth. Very nice.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Cool. So,
it's just fun. Dodonna said there was part of her that still did not know how to handle the archdemon of illusion.
I want to know what that is. Like, I'm really curious.
I feel like that's what hovers above me as I write. This
you want to reach that
archdemon of illusion.
That's awesome.
I'm really curious to hear like what kinds of writing projects you guys are working on. So if you're working on novels or short stories or poetry or
and like what genre?
Yeah, what genre?
Find that too.
Let us know.
Awesome.
Like I said, this project that I'm working on today is sort of like supernatural romance, and then I have like a YA fantasy that I wrote that I finished in November that really needs to get edited, and I've been delaying on that. And then I have another. I just like recently wrote the first couple of pages of another sort of YA magical realism book that I have in mind. But
it's awesome.
This is why I'm going in so many different directions.
Yeah. I see some interesting combinations here. Historical supernatural romance, murder mystery novel, cyberpunk with natural elements. That's cool. I love cyberpunk stuff.
Fanfic. Got some fanfic writers out there. Plus pirates.
Yeah. Plus pirates. Ooh, nice.
Is the historical supernatural romance plus pirates.
I love it. Nice. Pirates versus Dinosaurs, which is Cosmic Horror. Sorry, everybody. That's my favorite one. That one wins. Everyone's is good, but like that's my favorite.
Okay, I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of a desert fantasy novel with ghoul folklore.
Ooh. Okay, maybe never mind. Sorry. Different biker romance. I'm loving these. These are so great.
Queer fantasy, YA lit, women's fiction, novella.
We're gonna be here all day.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
this is like giving me more.
Oh my god, it's so great.
That I want to.
So our next discussion is going to be like basically kind of a natural progression from the previous stuff. Like, so how do you overcome obstacles? And a lot of you are already coming up with great solutions. So how do you overcome obstacles in writer's block? So like, what tools or methods do you use for getting out of writer's block? What do you do next? And I feel like that's kind of, we talked about this. It's a bit of like a two-pronged approach, because sometimes it's just like you don't have a good idea. Or like you feel like you don't have a good idea, and then other times it's like you just can't get the words on the page, you know?
Yeah. So what I'm curious, like, what are some like tactics that work for you? And so if the block is that you have the idea but you can't get the words on the page, or if your block is that you just don't have ideas, or I don't know what else. Whatever else, or that you don't have time. Like, what are the things that you do to get around those obstacles? Uneducated Bat says schedule, plan, and be organized, which I think speaks a lot to what we were talking earlier about having an outline, and a lot of people feeling
setting aside dedicated time for your writing. Too, even if it's only like half an hour. Yeah, I would say, kind of echoing what a lot of people in the chat are saying, walking away from your writing cannot, like, the value of that cannot be understated. Like, I find that, sometimes I have been sitting down and writing for like 3 hours, which is great, but then, like, most of the writing ends up just feeling like kind of not great. Like, I don't feel very good after it because I feel like I've just run out of juice. So I need to go do something else for a while.
I have the opposite problem where I just have trouble starting to write. And once I do, it's usually okay. And Donald Anderson in the chat kind of speaks to this too. So start with one word. It's hard to stop after. And I think that's such good advice, because sometimes it's just like literally the first sitting down and doing it is the hardest, the hardest step.
It's also hard to write when you think of your novel as like a single thing, as opposed to like, so if you're saying like I have to write 2,000 words right now. Right. Think of it more like I have to write 100 words, maybe 20 times, or something like that. Yeah. So try and break things apart. That can be really helpful.
Actually, 11 says tools to unblock currently this write-in. Good. That's
awesome. That's like the best part of it.
That is something that helps for me too. Is just being around people who not only encourage you to write, but also kind of ask you like, hey, what are you writing? How is it coming? Because sometimes, I don't know, for me it's like I can be a little ashamed to be like, I haven't written anything today yet. Let me real quick write down these 5 words here. So I think sometimes that can be really, really useful.
Definitely. Another, shameless plug. I feel like another great way to break some writer's block is to think about your characters and your story in different ways. So that might include, going to the NaNoWriMo forums or talking to people online or in person about, telling them your story so far, kind of some of your ideas, and kind of get their perspective on it, trying to think about it from a different person's point of view, or ask some questions about your character or your story that you wouldn't have thought otherwise. There's a great character questionnaire that we put together.
That Nick put together.
Lots of contributions. So, on the NaNoWriMo blog, that at least for me, like when we were putting it together, like I thought that was really helpful. Just like thinking about new perspectives on characters.
Yeah. We have a couple of people in the chat too who've been saying, write custom prompts about your novel, or like when you're feeling good, when you have the juices, write prompts that you can file away for later. When you're not feeling it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dictate notes on your phone during commutes to work. I will say I have done that as well. I have like a little notepad in my center part of my car, and like only when I'm like at a stoplight or like traffic is dead, like I will pull it out, and if I have an idea, I'll like jot it down without looking, so I have it.
Rory Murphy says, I free write about having writer's block. Something usually comes out of that.
I love it. It's so meta.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think during last week's write-in, I was definitely just like total word vomit all over the page. Like, I don't know what's going on. But I think that helped me pick it up today and like figure out who they were meeting and who the person is.
Yeah, just before we get to the next sprint, one obstacle that I think I've encountered a lot, and I think I've heard a lot of people say the same, is like your inner critic, feeling like what you are writing has to be the best, otherwise it's just not going to work. I've encountered that a lot, especially in the past, and that's part of why I'm writing by hand now, because if I can't read my writing, I can't complain about my writing. But the thing is, like, just writing it all down, even if it feels like word vomit, you're getting those words on the page, and you can always go back and edit them later. So, plenty of people are editing stuff that they wrote in November or other times, and that's perfectly okay. So like, just getting the words down, I think, is one of the biggest obstacles, especially when you feel inclined to like, get it right on the first try.
Yeah. Sarah Wrights also has a really good point that says, I asked my cabin about an idea that I had, and they just thought it was a good idea. So sometimes that's good too. It's just like, even just talking to other people and saying like, oh, man, like, even if you don't tell them the whole thing, just like, I have this idea, I don't know. Because I think sometimes you get too close to what you're writing and you're like, are these even words right now? I don't know. So sometimes it's good to have an outside perspective. Even if it's not another writer, I think other writers can be super helpful. But even if you just want to talk something through with somebody who is not a writer, sometimes they can point out things or sort of start you in a different direction, or give a little spark that you can then follow. So. Yeah.
And even if your cabin, as some people are saying, even if your cabin's not super active, you can always check in on like the forums on the NaNoWriMo website, or go on Twitter too.
That's Twitter. We have, so if you follow Nano Word Sprints on Twitter, they do kind of pretty constant like word prompts and sprints and all sorts of different things throughout our event months. So if you're feeling stuck, you can go on there and just scroll through that, and there's a bunch of different prompts.
So do you want to do our last sprint, you think?
Yeah, let's go. Let's jump into it.
All right, cool. So our third and final sprint for the day is another 10-minute sprint, and I mentioned before it kind of leads off from the second sprint, but also, as always, you can write whatever you want. So this sprint, the prompt is have your characters overcome the obstacle that you wrote about before. In whatever way.
Yeah, it can be a really creative way to overcome it. It can be,
one of the ways we talked about.
Can be one of the ways we talked about.
Yeah. So this one's going to be 10 minutes, and as always, I'll alert you of the time and begin. You got about 5 minutes left. And that's the time.
All right.
Pens down, everyone. Well done.
Let us know how it went.
Yeah. Shadami in the chat, we love you too.
Cute.
Also, so many people do editing during camp, so it's totally normal. Awesome. So how'd you do?
Let's see. How did I do?
I felt pretty good about this actually because I managed to, for once, actually like complete the prompt with the scene.
All right.
Like, get it to a point where I'm like, oh yes, this is
great.
A full scene, and I like where it ended up.
Excellent.
So I'm very happy with that.
I wrote 207 words.
Nice.
I kind of just continued this scene that I was writing, so I didn't really follow the prompt, but because I feel like overcoming the obstacle of this person that they have to meet is going to happen a little ways down the road.
But it's okay to like set up an obstacle and like kind of show off like how might they
totally
overcome it. What did you write about? How did your characters overcome their obstacles? Were they literal obstacles? Were they internal struggles? Like what was happening?
Where'd it go? Aritsuki says, I just about hit my word count for the day. Congrats. Nice. And then Arthur's mummy had 400 exactly personal records. So congratulations for that. That's awesome.
In just over 500 words, Zara writes, had the detective take over the scene, overcome the obstacle of finding the murderer, and got his guy. That's awesome. Rain S made 2,000 words for the day. Found the key. Left.
What?
Reply in the chat. My collie dog has managed to round up a flock of sheep. My collie dog, I think, would hope to find a sheep for himself. Oh. That's awesome.
So you have a collie dog, right?
Yeah, I have a collie.
I have an Australian Shepherd. Herding dogs are the best.
Yeah.
I'm just
anyway, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be next week's prompt. Include a sheepdog.
That would be great. I actually just finished reading a book that had a sheepdog.
Was it a border collie?
No, although I do really like James Harriet.
I was going to say.
I know, it was a Robin McKinley book, Shadows.
Oh, nice. Sorry, we're getting off track.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Awesome job on your word counts, everyone. Seems like you have kind of reached some great like points in your stories, and some great scenes. Keep it up. I think since we're not even halfway through the month, there's plenty of time to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Like, I'm really excited that I'm seeing so many people talking about sort of milestones that they're hitting. It's like, I broke 2K, or the day totals, 2,000 for today, and somebody said the 10K mark. Like that's really amazing.
That's fantastic.
I think it speaks to your point of trying to like break down things into smaller goals and celebrating those smaller goals when you hit them. It's super, super inspiring, actually.
Awesome. Great. So I think we're gonna have to finish this up. So next week's goals. I think we haven't figured out what the theme's going to be next.
Yeah,
but
it'll be
similar. Probably.
We're being pantsers.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
If you guys want to keep chatting, you're welcome to in about an hour. If you're on Instagram, our Young Writers Program Director, Mariah, will be over on Instagram just doing an Instagram Live talking about her writing and maybe doing some word prompts. I don't know what she's doing, but we're doing those Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's a half an hour, right?
Every week this week. Yeah, about half an hour.
Starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Starting so in about 1 hour today. And those are also now scheduled on the official NaNoWriMo calendar. So if you want to check out one of those to hop into, you can see the times there.
Also the tweet chats, right? Do we have tweet chats?
We don't have any more tweet chats lined up for this month.
Okay.
But if you wanna talk to people on Twitter, at NaNoWriMo
or Nano Word Sprints too.
Or Nano Word Sprints are great. Those will be going throughout the month. There's lots of resources. There's lots of people writing.
Totally.
So
yeah.
That's great.
There's also participant pep talks on the NaNoWriMo blog. So if you haven't checked those out, check those out. We also have some cool activities coming up for you.
Yeah.
Already this month and in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's never too late to start your project if you haven't already. And it's yeah. See you next week.
Yeah.
Same Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific.
Same time, same place.
Yep.
So. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we still on?